Hi guys.
Hi.
My name's Riley. I'm an Aries. I like long walks on the beach and dogs. Thank you. I heard this is like speed dating. So.
It's better.
Totally like it.
Yeah? Good.
Any luck so far?
I'm gonna wait until I see everybody, and then I'll make a pick. It'll be like The Bachelor. So have you guys seen the show?
Yes.
What do you think? Be honest.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah?
A faithful and yet also different adaptation of the movie. So.
Yeah. Well, the father-daughter thing really sets it apart.
Yes.
And it's such a sweet thing.
The gender switch on the movie really gives it a new dimension, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about playing this relationship with a daughter that had been father-son in the movie.
Well, I feel that the father-daughter relationship is the sweetest thing in the world. Everybody, can. If you've ever had it, I don't have a daughter, but I've always wanted one. Usually guys say, I want a son, like I want a mini me. And I'm like, yeah, I would want that, but I definitely want a daughter. I think it's so sweet. And so when I read the script, immediately that's what popped off to me was that it's that element is going to be so much stronger for a series, for people to, for us as actors to play out. Yeah.
The thing that does freak me out is the idea that 1996 is the distant past.
I know. That was my senior year of
ago.
high school. And so for me, this is a blast. It's like literally walking back in time. The music, the look, the feel of it. I knew it so well. And Oasis Wonderwall is my opening song for me. And I was like, I got chills when that came on. Because that was like my song when I was driving in Iowa as a senior in high school, trying to get the nerve to move to California to be an actor. And it was like, that, and so then there it was, like in this pilot. It's fun. It'd probably be, for me, that's the genre, that's the era I would want to play. And now I am.
There seems to be a lot of nostalgia for the 90s right now.
Well, everything comes back around. Remember the 80s was popular. It comes with the wardrobe and styles and hair and all that stuff. And I think everything is about 20 years is what they say with like the fashion in Paris and whatever. It's the 80s was just big, and now the 90s is about to make a huge comeback. So between the 90s making a comeback and us having a 90s element, and time travel obviously being a big thing this year, we're a time travel show. We hit it on the head with all that. We got really lucky that all those things are playing at the same time.
When you meet with Jeremy, how does he articulate the point of the piece? From his perspective, to you, what is the kind of tone of the story?
Deeply rooted in the characters and in the relationships, and the sci-fi time travel genre elements will take care of themselves. If we play the scenes as real and deeply rooted as possible, all the surroundings, that's the surroundings, and that's the fun for the audience. But we can't get caught up in that. We have to stay true to the words on the page and the dynamic of the relationships and our goals as characters. What's great about it is we have a very strong goal now, an objective that is going to give us a timeline, basically a time clock. I did a show called 24 back in the day, and I think everybody really liked the idea that there was a countdown, and we have that countdown in this show. We know exactly when my wife, Peyton's mom, goes missing, and so we know exactly what we have to do. It's awesome. She loves it over there.
Since she prevents your death in the first episode, we learn that in the new timeline you die in a car accident a few years ago. Do you think ultimately the series could end with preventing that car accident?
Well, I can only guess, like you guys right now, and they're being very tight-lipped about what's going on. But if I were to guess, I think a lot of things will change a number of times over the course of the series. And what's cool about this for the writers is once you pass the pilot and you pass the foundation of what we took from the movie, now it's a choose your own adventure for the writers, because it's the butterfly effect. Really, like if they move one chip here, these chips go away. You move this chip here, those chips go away. So they can really kind of have the authority to change the future as many times in as many ways as they want. And that's got to be a blast and confusing for the writers. But also it's amazing because we don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen,
All of your scenes with your daughter are particularly with the radio. Do you get to see any of Peyton's performance when you do those, or how does that work?
Yeah, Peyton and I vowed for the pilot that we would be there for each other off camera for the whole thing, because it really makes a big difference. Peyton and I have been acting partners for 10 years. Nobody really knows that. But, you know, we've worked countless hours on so many things that we did get, so many things we didn't get. We'd never actually physically worked together in a scene on TV, though, until now. And so all that history and work that we put in really, I think, showed and came across in the bond that we had as father and daughter. So it was very important for us to, you know, because we had that bond and we know each other so well as actors, to be there for each other off camera. And I'm trying to do it for the whole series. It gets tougher because we're working so much faster on the series now than the pilot. So I was talking to her the other day about it. I said, let's at least for the beginning of the show, until we get it rolling, let's still do that, you know. But regardless, I can hear her in my head. You know, I've worked with her so much, I know how she would deliver it. But it always sounds better from her than probably a script supervisor off camera. So no offense, script supervisors.
How would you describe Frank Sullivan, and to what extent is the man that he is in isolation tempered by the arrival of this new relationship with a daughter who is a voice?
It just got so loud here, didn't it? Like everything just went like that. Mackay started it, he's talking so loud. Can you repeat the question?
How would you describe Frank Sullivan in isolation, and how is he tempered by the arrival of this new relationship with a daughter who is essentially a voice and a voice?
Yeah, I mean, it turns his world upside down. He doesn't believe it at first, and not until it saves his life. You know, Frank is, what I love about Frank is he's the anti-hero. You know, he's a flawed human being. And for me, personally as an actor, I was looking for, it's hard to find a lead role that's flawed. A lot of times they're, in a lot of ways, generic and perfect. And I'm not that guy. I never play that guy. So I knew I needed to find a guy who was flawed that you could get behind and root for, and that was Frank. And, you know, in isolation, he doesn't have a lot of trust. He's basically given up everything he has and loves for this job. And I think after episode 1, when he comes in contact with Raimi, you know, she saves his life. He realizes at that point forward nothing else matters except finding the person that is going to do this to his wife, reconnecting with his daughter and reconnecting with his wife. I mean, really, ultimately it comes down to Frank realizes, like a lot of people realize, that at the end of the day it's about family. That's all you really have, and the rest of this stuff doesn't really matter if it's all going to be taken away from you. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching the show.